Ever since the invention of cameras, a lot of photographs have been taken, however, only few have won the Pulitzer's Prize. Today on the Citizen Network, we are going to talk about the top 10 Pulitzer Award-winning photographs. Number 10. Kiss of Life. This photo had a quite dramatic background as the photographer, Rocco Morabito, was driving as he spotted an electrician hanging upside down on his safety belt struck by 4,160 volts of electricity. He called an ambulance and in the meantime, another lineman climbed up and successfully rescued his colleague by performing mouth-to-mouth and, well, Morabito was there to snap the shot of the scene, winning the Spot News Prize. Number 9. Flee to Safety. Another entry by a foreign photographer was the image of a South Vietnamese mother and children trying to swim across the river to escape the assault Operation Piranha. Once Kyochi Sawada's picture won that year, he searched for the families in the actual photo and gave them half of the prize money. Number 8. Aid from Padre. The jurors admired the way drama, impact, and composition coexisted in this image taken by Hector Rondon. It is an image showing a wounded soldier pulling himself up to the priest. Rondon himself wasn't sure how he managed to take the picture as the setting was quite rough. Bullets flying around as it was taken during a rebellion of Marines at a naval base close to Caracas, Venezuela that the photographer found out about. Number 7. Coretta Scott King. A photo of Coretta Scott King and her daughter Bernice in a moment of grief during Martin Luther King Jr.'s funeral in April 1968 was taken by Moneta Sleet Jr. The day before the assassination, Martin Luther King Jr. assured his supporters that he was not afraid to die and that racial oppression could be defeated in the future. Number 6. Fire Escape Collapse. This Pulitzer Prize for Photography winner by Stanley Foreman immortalized the moment of a 19-year-old and her 2-year-old goddaughter falling from the fire escape of a burning apartment in Boston that actually led to the adoption of new fire escape laws in the U.S. The little girl survived the fall as she landed on the godmother, who died hours later from multiple injuries. Number 5. Rescue on Pitt River Bridge. The first woman and the second amateur photographer to receive the Pulitzer Prize for Photography Award, Virginia Show, took a dramatic image on her Kodak Brownie camera that had only 2 exposures left on the roll. As she was taking her parents out for a day of fishing, they witnessed a truck accident that left the cab dangling 40 feet from Pitt River Bridge. One of the people who helped to save the drivers was actually her husband. Number 4. Flight of refugees across wrecked bridge in Korea. Max DeFore was on photographer's duty traveling with the American frontline troops during the war between North Korea and South Korea. On December 4, 1950, while driving around Pyongyang, he noticed a bombed bridge that had hundreds of war refugees trying to make it across to the other side of the Taedong River. It was very cold and Max recalls that he could barely press the shutter button because of the freezing temperatures. Number 3. Tragedy by Sea. John L. Gaunt immortalized a tragedy of 2 parents by a rough sea realizing that they had just lost their child. The McDonalds were walking along the waves as their son Michael played nearby and crawled into the waves without them noticing. Number 2. Ruby Shoots Oswald. Photographer Robert Hill Jackson was to cover the transportation of Lee Harvey Oswald to the country jail after being sentenced with the murder of President John F. Kennedy. As the action took place in the basement of Dallas Police and Courts Building, Jackson had to strategically position himself to get the best shot possible, which he thought was obstructed by a man who, a moment later, jumped and fired a shot at Oswald as Jackson pressed the shutter button. Number 1. This image happened to be surrounded by controversy regarding its authenticity. It was taken by Joseph Rosenthal during the final stages of the Pacific War, showing U.S. Marines raising the flag on top of Mount Suribachi, the island of Iwo Jima. And it was so difficult to reach the point that the photographers started to doubt whether it was even worth it. As the trail became steeper, our panting progress slowed to a few yards at a time. I began to wonder and hope that this was worth the effort, when suddenly, over the brow of the topmost ridge, we could spy men working with the flagpole they had so laboriously brought up about quarters of an hour. Which of these photos do you think is the most iconic? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe and check out our channel for more amazing videos.